Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for.
He doesn't represent your party. He is your party, dog. And you are largely to blame. I will explain exactly how and show you exactly how Lindsey Graham is largely to blame in just a moment. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast Last Week on Earth for more of my take on the week's news. We all remember this version of Lindsey Graham from Trump's first run. Comments like these were not uncommon even from established Republicans like Graham. The GOP wasn't exactly embracing, at the time, the race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot who doesn't represent the Republican Party or the men in uniform that so bravely risked their lives for this country. And as Graham so aptly described him, remember he also put out this now pretty infamous tweet. But what happened, bro? Well, we all know what happened next. Trump shocked the world, shocked Graham, shocked Republicans by winning the nomination, then the presidential election. Spineless cowards like Graham, of course, fell in line. 4 years of his presidency passed in a nauseating blur of a lot of tweets and noises and hand gestures. Then January 6th happened, where the president of the United States, trying to do anything he could to cling on to power and having failed at all of his attempts, decided to just actually send angry armed people and people with flagpoles and mace and real anger, I guess, against democracy to the Capitol to try to not certify the election and threaten to hang his vice president. And now here we are again. Isn't that fun? You'd think some of that stuff would be something in our past we'd be embarrassed about and not be neck and neck in the polls for winning the presidency again. But we live in a simulation, and one that really seems like the programmers of this video game are messing with us. But Graham was right. More than ever, it seems like his prediction the GOP would be destroyed is coming true. It's already true. There's barely a GOP left. It's a MAGA party now. It only serves Donald Trump's interests, his personal interests, until Trump loses again. And maybe there's some chance that fades away eventually in the future if Trump ever does, but he'll probably live to 375 years old and keep running and keep losing and or winning and or complaining and or saying he won when he lost. So we've got a fun ride ahead of us. Has Lindsey Graham at least learned from his ways? Has he come around to once again call out Donald Trump for the terrible candidate and leader he proved to be after seeing him do it for 4 years? Look at this clip.
So let's bring in one of Trump's biggest supporters, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina.
Oof, not exactly. Biggest supporter, huh? What do you have to say now, Lindsey?
I think the way that they're running the campaign is to draw him into insult debates, get off script, get off the issues. This poll, to me, is very encouraging. Now, in a head-to-head race, Trump is losing slightly, but on the issues, Trump, economy +8, inflation +8, border +9. My God, that's a blowout. Focus on the issues, Mr. President.
Focus on the issues. Very funny. Very, very funny.
The former president has said just in the last week or so about Kamala Harris as he looks ahead to this debate. He has called her, quote, low IQ, dumb, someone who, quote, can't put two sentences together. Now, those sound a little bit more like schoolyard taunts than the stuff of a presidential campaign. Yeah. But it's also a strange way to set expectations before a debate.
Yeah, that's because Trump is incredibly stupid. I mean, here you have a member of the Republican establishment doing everything he can to help Trump, not just to win the election for himself, but to also keep the White House in Republican hands. It seems like solid advice he's giving him, but obviously Trump, a man super open to advice, respects Lindsey Graham, is going to listen to it or at least respect it, right? It's constructive criticism said from a fanboy, a dedicated supporter, one of his biggest supporters. How did Trump react?
You said last week that, quote, Donald Trump, the provocateur, the showman, may not win this election, unquote, urging that he focuses more on policies the way that you are in this interview. Mr. Trump responded to you. Take a listen.
Yeah.
Look, I like Lindsey. I don't care what he says, okay? Lindsey wouldn't have been elected if I didn't endorse him. So, South Carolina, Lindsey's my friend, but if I didn't endorse him, he would have had no chance of getting elected.
I like Lindsey. I don't care what he says, the president says. He doesn't seem receptive to your advice.
No, of course Trump doesn't care what an establishment Republican like Lindsey Graham thinks, because Donald Trump isn't a Republican. Not even close to being establishment. He's all about Team Donald Trump. Always has been. He'll do whatever it takes to get his way, even if it means tearing apart the Republican Party in the process, even if it means embracing the former Democrat candidate for president, RFK Jr., then ran as an independent, and now, for some reason, said both candidates were corrupt and the system was broken. Now he's working for the most corrupt of all. So, yeah, we remember that tweet. We remember what you said. And sorry, Lindsey, you can't undo the obvious truth we all know, and the truth that you know deep in your soul is still true every time you run protection for Trump. Sorry, Lindsey. You called Trump out for being an opportunistic grifter, and now you're part of the grift. You've become what you once despised, one of his biggest supporters, a man you do not understand or recognize, that you can't wrap your head around what you have now become. And in doing so, you've played a very large role in destroying your own party, the very thing you warned everybody about. It's kind of shameful, huh? I'm sure that doesn't bother you at all. You don't feel shame. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. Subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth, where I give you my take on everything that happened during the last week. Thanks.